What's up YouTube, Deathmaster Reviews here with another video, and today I wanted to address a topic which is a bit of a sketchy topic within the metal community. It's one that usually gets avoided when it comes to conversation. However, I do believe this is an issue that needs to be addressed because it's well, I've kind of met somebody recently, and well, they're a really bad poser. And look, I know now that I've just said that sentence, most people watching this video will think I'm an elitist and will think, oh, you must be a fucking snob if you're calling people to be posers and you think you're better than everyone, you know, the usual bullshit. Look, I'm gonna clear some shit up. The definition of a poser, or at least in my eyes, is somebody that poses in order to try and fit in with a certain subculture. There's somebody that they're not into the actual sort of aspects of that subculture that makes it unique. They're just pretending to in order to gain popularity or to get something out of it, which is kind of lame. And I dislike posers. I just don't see the point in it. I am my own person, I'm into my own tastes, and I suppose I'm into a lot of metal, so I would call myself a metalhead, but the thing is, I never say I'm into a band if I've never heard of them. That's like rule number one. If somebody goes to me, have you heard of this band, and I haven't, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna go, oh yeah, they're a boss then, when I don't know who they are. I'll just be like, no, I'm actually not into them. And I think the fear is that a lot of people have this idea that if you say you haven't heard of a band, you will get called a poser. And that's the problem. Just be honest about your tastes. I respect that myself, at least. I like people that have the balls to say, no, I haven't listened to Iron Maiden before. I don't give a shit. As long as you're into what you're into, I don't have a problem with you. But yeah, basically I met this fella recently who, he suffers from Asperger's, so maybe this somehow justifies his acts. But the thing is, I've noticed recently in conversation with him, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, the first time I ever spoke to him, I was wearing my Slayer top from the tour I went to last year with Anthrax. What a boss tour that was. And he went, oh, you're into Slayer, I like Slayer. And I was like, oh, this dude seems pretty cool. I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty big on Slayer myself actually. I saw him live. Like, he was like, yeah, I saw him live as well at Sonosphere. This is him, by the way. I saw him live at Sonosphere a few years back with the Big Four. I was like, oh right, how was that? He was like, yeah, they were boss. They played Raining Blood live. I was like, fair enough. He was like, yeah, the Big Four. It was Metallica, Megadeth, Slipknot and Parkway Drive. Which caught me by surprise. I kind of stood back for a second and went, what? And I was just very confused, because even if he had mistaken another sort of big whatever out of different genres, like you have the big three of German thrash, I believe it is, which is Destruction, Creator and Sodom, I think. But yeah, it was just the way he said that, like it wasn't incorrect in any way, just like, yeah, this is them. And I'm not a confrontational fella, so I kind of went, alright, but straight away I knew this fella wasn't real. And look, I feel really bad now making this video, because I hate to be that guy that's like, you're not a true metalhead, you're a poser. But I'm not wrong. I mean, this guy, for instance, there was the other week where me and my mate went up to him and we went, you're into Metallica, aren't you? And what's your favourite Metallica album? And he responded, oh, the first one, Enter Sandman. And it was just like, oh, for Christ's sake. And I have a mate who, he knows who he fucking is, if you're watching this video, Saffron lad. But he's been listening to metal about 15 years longer than me. He's fucking mental. I love him to bits, but he's more serious about sort of what is labelled metal and how you sort of judge the genre. And this guy starts going, "Oh, I'm a huge metalhead, me," and like he starts calling my mate out, saying, "You're not a big true metalhead," and whatever bullshit it may be. And my mate just snaps. And at this point, we all just kind of say to him, "Look, mate, you're a poser. You're pretending to like bands even though you've never heard of them, and it's fucking grim, lad." And I tried to explain to him in the most unconfrontational way ever, because I hate the guy. He's a nice enough fella, but I was just saying to him, "Look, if you like what you're into, if you have your own tastes, I won't have anything against you. What I do have something against is people that pretend to like a certain band. Like, for instance, he wore a Cannibal Corpse top, a Butcher the Bird top, and I was like, "Oh, what's your favourite song off that album then?" Because I thought it was his favourite album. And he didn't even respond. He just went, and I was just like, huh? Meat Hook Sodomy, is that a good one? He was like, "Yeah, I like that one." And then I think he said Hammer Smash Face, which was fucking grim. But like, I think though it's a problem nowadays where if you call out somebody for being a poser, all of a sudden you have the kind of anti-elitist community kind of go, "Oh, what, you calling somebody a poser? You're what's wrong with the metal community? You're a horrible human being." Like I said, I have nothing against somebody that's just getting into metal. Like, for instance, if they've been listening to metal for about 2 days and they said their favourite Metallica album was Enter Sandman, I wouldn't be angry. I'd just go, "Oh no, that's not an album, mate." Not in like a sort of pretentious "I'm better than you because I know this way." I'd simply just inform them it's not an album, it's a song. And they probably go, "Oh, cheers for that." And then they get on with their life. Like, I have plenty of mates who have been getting into metal, and they've asked me to get them into bands. I've shown them bands, and I've not been a dick about it. I've not been like, "I know more than you." I've just been like, "Oh, I should try these out, they're good." And I have nothing against that. I have nothing against people who will actually listen to sort of bands they're into. And it's the same way I dislike it when people sort of start targeting people that are listening to deathcore, hardcore, metalcore, whatever it may be. Start going, "You're not a true metalhead, you're a fucking poser." It's like, well, they're not a poser because they're listening to what they're into. They know more about hardcore than you because they listen to hardcore. That doesn't make them a poser. That makes them a fan of hardcore. It's not that hard to figure out. But it's the same way emo kids get criticised because they like Parkway Drive and all them weird bands. I'm not bigger than myself, but it's like, well, they listen to something different. Just let them be who they are. If they're into that, let them be into that. Don't be a judgmental prick at the end of the day. But if you do know somebody who literally pretends to like bands in order to gain popularity, you should probably point them out. And they're a problem in the metal community. And it's not even just the metal community, it's everywhere. Posers are everywhere. Don't just think it's just assigned specifically to metal. It's a problem everywhere. You have people who are sort of, I don't know, claim the fans of hip-hop when they've only listened to Eminem. Them kind of people. I mean, you have people trying to fit in everywhere. And honestly, I don't know why you would want to be a poser in the metal community, because being a metalhead's like the least socially acceptable subculture there is, basically, except for a few other exceptions. If you're a metalhead, you basically have to learn to deal with scallies shouting shit at you because of the length of your hair, the clothes you wear, the way you act, the music you listen to. It's not necessarily a subculture that's like, "Oh, if I pretend to be into this, I'm gonna get popular." It's more like, it's kind of like, I'm not trying to say I'm ashamed, but it's not exactly something you'd pretend to be popular. yeah, I think I'll end the video around about here. But I just do think the metal community should understand posers are a problem. I mean, we shouldn't tolerate them. We shouldn't let people pretend to be into music just to fit in. We should try and share the idea that if you listen to what you're into, you'll gain so much more respect. But yeah, that's basically a quick summary of today. I hope you enjoyed. This was a bit more of a rant type video. I have plenty more in hand. I'm gonna try and start uploading daily now. Just see what happens. I want this channel to grow a bit, so I got 120 views on my last video, so one of my previous videos, which was really impressive. So if you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. I'll see you another time.